This is Tekoa, a Palestinian village south of Bethlehem. On the day we visited, it was peaceful, but the road here often gets violent as Jewish settlers pass through to nearby settlements.
Israelis must ask themselves why we throw rocks at them. We can answer them. They take our land, they kill our kids, they put us in a small prison. Because of that, they can't expect us to throw flowers at them.
Palestinians from the village are known to throw stones at settlers' cars as they pass. This has led to injury and death in the past. As a result, the Israeli Defense Forces want to cut some of the olive trees that line the road and provide shelter to stone throwers. Tekoa's mayor says some trees have already been cut and another 200 to 300 are at risk. He sees the rock throwing as a response to the presence of settlers and the actions of the IDF.
The settlers and the military are not allowing children to get to their schools safely. And on the other hand, they didn't allow Palestinians to rebuild the roads and the villages. Public services do not exist because of the settlers, and the situation causes many Palestinians to defend about their land, which is a small community with many settlements around.
The IDF often comes into the village, conducting raids and setting up sporadic checkpoints at all the entrances, usually appearing after tensions rise.
Any minute they can close the gate, and it's up to the soldiers.
Many villagers are upset by these actions.
They harass the people in their homes at night and arrest our children and youth and bother us in the streets by checkpoints. They are really harassing us because settlements are all around us and even banned us from going to the wild, empty area near us, even for goat herders.
While rock throwing can be fatal, the villagers see it as petty, a rebellious act of young kids from the school which sits just next to the road. But the IDF takes this threat seriously and claims their actions in the village are a response to continued conflicts with settlers. During a recent protest, a teen accused of rock throwing was detained by the IDF and then shot in the leg after attempting to flee. Because of these continued clashes, the IDF claims it needs to trim the trees next to the road. It allowed Palestinian farmers to do so themselves at their request. But the IDF claims not all the trees were trimmed, and Palestinians are likely hesitant to do so because these olive trees are their livelihood and an important symbol in their culture. Nearby is the Jewish settlement of Tekoa. Rock throwing is taken very seriously here.
When I am driving down the road at 70 kilometers an hour or 60 kilometers an hour and a rock this big, a bulger it's not a little boy, by a teenager, throws it through my windshield, okay, with the intention to kill me. If we didn't have plastic windows, it would be killing people every single day.
Aviva Israeli is raising a family in the settlement and says education for the youth on both sides of the conflict is the key to stopping violence on the road.
If my kid would ever tell me, or I would find out that my child is leaving school and throwing rocks, I promise you that is the last day they would step foot in that school. But we each have an individual responsibility to educate our children, and it has to start from the bottom. I've given up on the top.
On the other side of the settlement, peace activist Shaul Huluman has also seen the impacts of rock throwing.
There's the kids coming out of school, and the 10-year-old looks me in the eye and throws the rock at my car. That's one level of stone throwing. There's other level of stone throwing is a passing car throwing a cinder block at you driving 70 kilometers an hour that killed my friend's brother. That also goes on here.
The Palestinians say rock throwing is a response to Israeli activity in the area. Hudulman says it is the other way around.
Right now, Israel's face at Tekoa is the military. I can tell you there's Palestinian towns where the town leadership stopped the rock throwing, and the army stopped coming in.
Hudulman also sees open communication as the only way forward, but both sides face barriers to this.
Right now, neither side trusts that there's any partner on the other side. What you hear from Israelis about who Palestinians are and what they're doing, what they're teaching their kids, what's going on in their society, why don't they do this? We hear from Palestinians about Israelis, what they are, what they're doing, they're coming to take land, all these kind of things. Okay, that's our image of each other.
It's clear that both Tekoas, Palestinian and Israeli, see the conflict on the road very differently, and both have steps they can take to make the area safer. But any path towards peace is incredibly difficult in this area. Craig Johnson, I-24 News.
Goodbye!